Today we are playing Werewolf the Apocalypse, Heart of the Forest. It is a tabletop RPG from the World of Darkness universe. Let's check it out. Prologue, Premonition. Start the chapter. This game is about rage and how it helps us do things that need to be done as well as things we later regret. Sometimes both. How do you feel about that? I'm okay with anger when it's useful. I prefer to think before I act. Given that I'm a werewolf, I probably act on instinct, so I'm okay with it. Your rage is balanced. So you're the critical and analytical type. I gotta move my camera, don't I? I do. Let's see, let's move it old school. Hopefully there's no text in this space. Okay. There's no right path there, just your decisions and their consequences. The forest. The woods are full of stars. They flicker, come closer, run away. They want me to chase them, to play hide and seek. Can I press 1 or 2 and 3 to choose my options? Let's see. I observe. Oh, you can't. You have to click. Okay. I watch as they dance around the tree trunks, float up on the gusts of wind that shiver through the branches, disappear among the leaves. There are words in their dance, but I don't understand them, not yet. Then they bunch up and fly towards me like an arrow, rushing down. They're soon upon me, just before the spear of light pierces my breast, they disappear, and the dark of night returns, balanced. In the darkness, I feel the tangled roots of stories, keeping the forest alive, and I hear the spirits asking me to judge the enemy. I open my eyes. So I got rage. I can pause. I got willpower. Let's go read this. Rage describes your supernatural anger. Be careful. High rage allows Maia to overcome many obstacles, but also makes her aggressive and hard to control. So I think balance is probably good here. Willpower is the pool of points that you spend to perform actions that are difficult for Maia. Can I just say Maia? Are you guys gonna... Particularly, willpower can be used to prevent the effects of high rage. You regain willpower when you pursue your goal. When your willpower goes down to 0, you are impaired and unable to perform hard mental and social actions. Okay. Health, duh. It's summer. No name. Here's my stuff. Healthy. Okay, cool. Cold and alone. Confused, I open my eyes. The forest around me is thick, dark, and reeks of decay to such an extent that it's hard to breathe. The smell fascinates me. Something elusive from my earliest childhood, the tree trunks wrapped tightly in dark leaved ivy, are covered in ripples of lichen where the vines haven't taken hold. The thorny, leafless bushes at their base are overrun with nettles. The fungi radiate with a ghoulish, sickly green light, dark, Sponge-like mushrooms cling to the fallen trees. Something is rotten. I should breathe, huh? No. Something is rotten. I look down and see my hands covered in dark substance. I'm naked. A sticky, glistening film of liquid is clinging to my skin. I could feel it on my face, in my hair. Blood. I'm alert. Ah! Nature is never quiet. The leaves rustle in the wind. Small creatures scuttle in the undergrowth. There is a whisper. I don't understand what it means, but the word resonates in my head. Garu. Who said that? There is a severed head right in front of me. What am I? Oh, I wince and touch it. Willpower. Oh, that's a minus willpower. That's kind of... I don't want to lose... I don't want to go down to 1 willpower. Come on. The face is contorted. The eyes bulging. The mouth open. The tongue stuck out. It's obscene. I feel bile rising in my throat and I start to retch. And then my eyes open in the darkness. Who is it? The enemy. I can see the silhouettes. Shades of jet black against the darkness. They reek of metal and acid and oil and money. The massive creatures, some with mandibles, some with spidery legs. Their faceted eyes burn like small industrial furnaces. I look at them and something wakes inside my chest. Panic? Oh, come on. Ah. Delight. They see me as prey, and I'm delighted by their stupidity. I get up and start to run. I make sure to catch my foot on a gnarled root and stumbled. They follow, but I lead them toward my friends waiting in the trees. Waiting. Ready for an ambush. I bite my lip to hold back my laughter. In a moment of clarity, I almost understand what the forest wants from me. And then I wake up. Chapter 1, Arrival. I'm digging the art style. It has a painterly look to it. Almost like a comic book, too. Maia, 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 wake up. I jerk upright. My neck was stiff, and the movement sent a sudden sharp wave of pain through my body. I wasn't in the forest anymore. I was in a bus. The sun streaming through the windows was making it hard to see. The girl next to me was touching my shoulder, disturbed. Wait, why would I do this? I snapped. Ah! When your rage is high, you might say and do things you later regret. You were laughing. I blinked. I'm glad I wasn't alone. Ooh. Thank you for coming. The girl next to me smiled. I think we're almost there. Her name was Anya. We met a couple weeks earlier on the orientation day. She was from Norway, a tall, broad-shouldered, calm person who wore her long hair in braids. Somehow, I managed to talk to her into this crazy field trip across the land of my ancestors. She looked content. You were there to study medicine. Why would I... Wait, what's that? Oh. Anna reached into her backpack and took out 2 apples. Are you excited to finally be here? She asked as she tossed me one. Yeah, I said, biting into my apple. It was sweet, but a little soft. I was glad Anya had decided to come with me. I had problems keeping friends around, and I really needed one. I did some searching, she said from over her phone, and this place is amazing. The last primordial forest in Europe. This trip was my idea. Our summer language course was starting in a few weeks, and I managed to talk Anya into skipping tours of concentration camps and old churches and visiting Białowieża National Park with me instead. So far, it's beautiful. But why are we here again? Why were we here? We're there. There being Białowieża. Wait, can I click this? What does it say? Białowieża. Białowieża. Alright. Is a village in Poland's Podlasie province, in the middle of Białowieża Forest, for which it is named. It was famous for its national park and the very last European bison. And according to the quick web search, occasional tensions between far-right troublemakers and local Belarusian community. The honest answer would have been because I'd been dreaming about the forest. I looked into her eyes. I mean, I kept it simple. Yeah, I think I'll keep it simple. Yeah, why not? Yeah, it's complicated. I'm looking for my roots. I kept it simple. I didn't tell her. What I didn't tell her was even more important. I knew my family was from there. None of my relatives spoke about it, though. There were a lot of things that weren't spoken about in my life. Strange dreams that plagued me. Half-forgotten tales about forests and wolves that I've heard before my mom took me, ran away, and cut off all contact with my dad and his family. I waited. Anya fell silent for a moment. You know what? Let's see how it rolls, she said. At me. She said at last with a smile. If your drama becomes too much for me, I'll just split and go sightseeing myself. Got a clear goal. I had to learn about my roots, figure out my destiny, learn the truth. I don't know, man. Face the forest, learn about the truth. I have to face the forest. The forest wanted something from me, and it was time to find out what. There was a mystery to uncover, and an adventure to be had. I couldn't wait. Welcome home. Białowieża looked like an overexposed photo of a village with the contrast turned all the way up. Heat was pouring from the cloudless sky, scorching the earth, the trees, and the grass and the wooden houses, the fences. Everything looked slightly past its best, weary, worn out. Except the shadows. They were sharp, as though they were freshly printed with the darkest of inks. For a second I could have sworn they've moved, but then I realized it was just a black cat walking down the sidewalk. When it saw me, it stopped in its tracks. Is that us? I think so, huh? Wait, where's my son? Oh, wait. No, it looks different. That's probably us, yeah. A black cat. I tried to pet it. Here, kitty kitty. Balanced. It didn't react. Instead, looking at me with dead eyes, judging me. Didn't your friend said your friend would be waiting for us, but he wasn't there, and the cat was still staring at me. Let's go. I need to find the toilet. I was tempted to just get out of the sun and worry about my missing friend later. Oh, I don't know. Why would I leave? Alright, I left. I grabbed my backpack and started walking. I hate when people break their promises. I muttered under my breath. Anya caught up with me. Don't worry, you'll find him later. I feel like I should be standing for this. Let me stand. That is where we stayed. Bread and breakfast. I'm trying to say this. Białowieża. Białowieża. That's where we stayed. I found one that was nice, clean, and that had a good reviews. We had a room on the second floor with a huge window and a great view of the forest. We dropped off our stuff, freshened up a bit. Maybe we should have waited? I'll find him sooner or later. Before you go, check out your character sheet. Look for it in the upper right corner. Oh, okay. You can find a background, her background, personality goals, and so on in there. You can also check your friends who your enemies are. Okay, let's see. Maia Borodich is 24 as a student, American. Brave 0, inspiring 2, analytical 1, spiritual 3, cunning 0. That's her personality assessment. She's healthy. She needs to understand what connects her to the forest. Pursue to regain willpower. Anya's neutral, family. It's complicated. Alright. Lay of the land. I had a clear goal in mind. The forest was calling me, and I was ready to answer the call. Anya went with you. Cool. Okay, so... Okay, let's go to the forest. Oh shit. Into the woods. It was dark in the woods, dark, humid, and chilly. The leaves didn't let through a lot of sunlight. Daniel looked at Anya and me over his shoulder. Who's Daniel? How do you like her? We met maybe 20 minutes earlier. Anya had Googled local guides, and he was apparently the local guide. Apparently the best person to go to if you wanted to see the forest. So I found him, and now here we were. He was a strange one. Daniel was a strange guy. Not the CrossFit type, slender. It was more the kind of strength you get from working all day long in the open. His skin was weather beaten and bronzed by the sun, like tan leather, and he moved in a very deliberate way. But his fingers were slim and delicate, and his eyes were the strangest shade of yellow-green. So, he repeated, how do you like her? Oh, he's talking about the owl. I mean the Puszczazia? I think Puszcza. Puszcza. The word sounded like a wind rustling in the leaves. Puszcza. Pusha is the right word, not forest. Forests are like fields or orchards cultivated. He spat as he said it. And the Pusha, she is older than even the contempt of fields. He was using the word as though it was a name. Okay, I looked at the Pusha. Oh, there it is. I felt as though I entered an ancient tomb. Gigantic dead trunks were decomposing slowly around me, young plants and colorful mushrooms sprouting from them. The trees that still lived stretched towards the sky like columns holding up the vaulted canopy, which blocked out all but a few rays of sunlight. There was stillness and there was movement, darkness and light. If spirit existed, that place would be swarming with them. I love what I saw. There should be more places like this, I said. Or more of this place. Daniel was pleased. Actually, no, he's not. He has a serious expression. Then I remembered why I was there. I told him that I dreamed about the forest. I'm not from here, I continue, but I think something secret connects me to this place. I dream about the forest. His face broke into a smile. I think our families might have known each other. Pusha still remembers. Come on. He started walking. I know exactly what you need to see. So I was right. There is something hidden in my family's past. Okay, it says, every time you learn or do something significant that brings you closer to your goal, you regain willpower. Ooh. With every step, I was getting closer to solving the mystery. At the crossroads. Okay, so we have to choose a path. There's a wolf den. I could show you the burrows. Or a clearing that some folk call a place of power. Wolf's Den. Ancient graves. It's kind of boring. Wolf's Den? Place of power. Let's try that. We started walking, but after a few steps he stopped abruptly and he remembered something. Could you do me a favor, he asked. Sure. He ran his hand through the moss on a dead tree trunk, smelled his fingers, and then reached into his pocket. He took out a stone. An amulet? Oh, I knew it. Okay, it says, the game tracks your decisions on how Maia approaches problems. They will accumulate and gradually reveal what kind of person she is deep in her heart. The story changes to reflect Maia's personality. I would like you to take the stone. He held it out his open hand toward me and throw it in the direction you think we should go. I did what he asked. Okay. I took the stone, threw it. It felt alive. I closed my eyes about the place of power, trying to imagine that place. I felt light and smelled hot air and stood on end. My hair stood on end. I threw it. I felt my hand rising entirely on its own and then throwing the stone as far as I could. When I opened my eyes, Daniel was picking it up off the ground. Okay, let's go. What happened? I was confused. You were accepted. He answered with a faint smile. Okay. Buzzing in my ears. It started with the hair on the backs of my hands rising. The air around me seemed brighter, lighter. The leaves and the trunks turned yellow and my skin started to prickle. I realized that I couldn't hear anything except for a low buzzing that was filling my ears. I tripped and lost balance for a second, and when I caught myself, everything around me was swaying, dissolving into the buzzing. I had to do something, snap out of it. I willed to stop. I willed it. I screamed. You know, screaming might be... I screamed. I took a deep breath and let out a scream, not from the top of my lungs, but from the bottom of my stomach. I could feel the sound filling me, replacing the strange buzz, if only for a moment. Are you okay? Anya asked. Don't you hear the buzzing? I looked at her, shocked, and she frowned. What? Okay, I hear something. Hey, is it coming from that clearing? Hey, that is a freaking... That's a freaking wolf and a half right there. You see that? Look at that. A clearing and a silhouette of a person there, a shadow that moved slowly and deliberately. I approached. I can see its eyes now. The clearing was a plateau between huge boulders. Who the heck is this guy? There were double trunk trees between the rocks and the angular wooden construction that stuck out of the ground like a sore thumb. There was a bike leaning on it. But more importantly, there was a man, and he was moving in the most beautiful, harmonious way I'd ever seen. It was hypnotizing. I wonder if you interact with the right part of the screen here. If at all. It's almost like a freaking Nintendo DS game where you can flip at the screen and you have like a text adventure at the bottom and you got visuals at the top. Spiritual. I looked at him for a moment at the way his muscles danced under his tan skin, trying to trace his movements. Before every grand gesture, every stretch, and every push, there was a micro movement, an impulse from his core that I can feel it. It was even deeper. The energy that had been filling me earlier took form. It was flowing in a rhythm with his steps, with the flow of his hands. The words came out of my mouth seemingly without knowing. What did he do? What did he do? He smiled. It's complicated. He stretched his hand towards me. I'm Cornell, he said with a hard German accent. Shouldn't you be at the logging site? Daniel asked. I needed to center myself, he answered. The others are still there, don't worry. They were cutting trees in this forest? Wait, logging here? I couldn't believe my ears. He smiled bitterly. Yes, logging here. That's why I needed to calm down. This place is special. Some people call it a place of power. As I told you, said Daniel. And they have a good reason to. Cornell added, look around you. So I looked. It was a clearing filled with light. I could see Cornell's traces, a beautiful pattern on the ground, but there was one thing that caught my attention more than anything else. And it gives me 3 options here. The tower spoiled the serenity of the scene. 2, the boulder around us were strange. 3, fruit trees. I mean, I think the thing that catches my eye the most is this thing. The silhouette. This guy. This thing. You see it? Okay.